beautiful people, welcome to my channel. Today let's make this tasty, yummy yet moist brown or wheat bread. To begin with, we'll need 8 cups of flour, half cup of sugar, 1/8 teaspoon of yeast. As you can see, it's very small. I will explain why. And we need 1/3 cup of butter. We need 10 ml of vanilla, half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of nutmeg, and then 3 cups of warm water. We will as well need half cup of raisins. This, however, is optional. Now let's get ready. We are going to use our hands for the kneading. We want to learn how to knead with our hands, assuming you don't have a kneading machine at home. So to begin with, we'll pour all our dry ingredients. We start with the yeast, follow with sugar, follow with the nutmeg, and then the salt. We mix all together thoroughly to ensure that they are well mixed. All the ingredients are well mixed. Then we'll follow with our butter. We'll add our butter and then mix our butter with our flour and then the other dry ingredients. We'll as well mix to ensure the butter is well mixed together with all the dry ingredients. Now that our ingredients are all well mixed, we'll start adding the water gradually, to form a dough. So we pour some water into the flour. Then we add the vanilla. We mix together and try to form a ball or a dough from it. As in, when we need more water, we'll pour in the water. So now we mix, ensuring that every flour is covered with water. If you are still here, we would like you to know that we really appreciate you. Kindly like this video and follow our channel for more. When you have to add water, add to the part where the flour is. Add to the part where there is flour, and ensure every bit of the flour is mixed, to get an even texture. Now our water is okay. We'll go ahead and mix all our dry ingredients to ensure we have a uniform texture. Now we would have to set our dough aside for about 5 to 10 minutes, to help with the kneading process. This will make our dough very softer as we knead. It will as well help with the gluten formation. It's been 5 minutes now, so we'll go ahead, remove the cover, and start the kneading process. So to knead, we would use our hands, both hands. I will advise you use your dominant hand, the heel of your palm for the dominant hand, and the fingertips of your other hand. So you apply the heel of your palm, then you turn the dough over. You apply the heel, turn over, and then move the dough around, all around. You continue with that process. You realize that as you do that, the texture of the dough will be changing. It will be changing. You can as well do as I'm doing by just applying the heel and tucking in, or applying the heel and turning the dough over. You realize that the dough was very soft when we started, but I did not add any flour. Why? Because as you add more flour, it will change the recipe or the composition of the dough that you want to achieve. So I recommend you knead without adding any flour. However, if you want to add flour to your working surface, I recommend that you set apart some of the flour you intend using for the bread. Then you use that in the kneading. As I knead, you realize I throw the dough to the surface. That as well helps with the kneading. Ensure you continue with this process, and as the texture changes, Try and test for the dough if the gluten formation is perfect now. To ensure you have achieved that, you make the dough round, you press to see if the dough bounces back. If it bounces back, then it means the dough is good for the next process. If it doesn't, then you continue kneading. So I kneaded this dough for about 15 minutes and I achieved this. We realized that we had a softer dough now, and then when we pressed, you realized that it bounced back, implying that our dough was ready for the next process. Okay, so now we make our dough ready to set it apart for it to rise. Okay. I mentioned earlier that I use 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast. That is very small quantity. Why? Because I let my dough to rise for over 6 hours. I did this process in the evening around 9 p.m. and then I woke up in the morning to continue. So the next morning around 5:30 in the morning, I opened my oven where I had the dough resting to check on it, and as you can see, it had doubled. Okay, so now I remove the dough and then continue with the next process. We need to get all the air out, okay, and then work on it as we lay it in our baking pan for the next process. Now I needed to make 2 loaves from this particular dough, so I needed to weigh to ensure I have an even dough for each loaf. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and roll it into our baking pan. Okay, in rolling it, you apply the rolling pin to straighten and stretching it. Okay, get an even shape, and then it can fold into a desired shape. Okay, as I roll, I then spread raisins on it. I did not add the raisins to the ingredients I showed earlier, though I made mention of it. You can skip this process if you want to. You can as well add if you want to. So I spread the raisins over. I continue to roll to ensure that all the raisins are tucked in, and then I fold my dough. Okay, I fold my dough, and then in folding, I ensure that it's well tucked in. Okay, there is no air, because if you have air in it, that is when you will bake and you will see holes in your bread. We don't want to be seeing holes in our bread, so as you roll, you tuck in and press to ensure there is no air. Now our dough is well rolled. We will place it in our baking pan, in which we had already greased with oil. Okay, we go ahead and process the second dough, going through the same process, and then place it in the pan as well. Now we have our dough ready to rest and rise for the next process. So we cover our dough up with a clean napkin, leave it in a warm place for it to rise, and then we continue. As we do that, we set our oven to on preheating. So I preheated my oven at 250 degrees Celsius. As I preheated, I had water at the base of the oven, which would help hydrate the bread and provide moisture in the oven. If you don't have that functionality in your oven, I will advise you put water in another baking pan and set it aside the dough as you bake. Now we let the dough to rise for about an hour. Because the quantum of yeast I used was very small, it took a bit of time for it to rise again. If you are looking at achieving this within the shortest possible time, which is possible, you will need to increase the quantity of yeast. You can use about half teaspoon or even a teaspoon of yeast. That will reduce the resting period for your dough to rise, okay? And then you can have your dough or bread ready within the shortest possible time. Now it's been over an hour. As you can see, our dough has increased again. It's prepped now and it's ready to go into the oven. So I slot it in the oven, but as I do that, I leave the oven open for about a minute, okay, so that the heat that has been accumulating in the oven, some can come out. After the minute, I then close the oven. I had preheated at 250 degrees. I now reduce it to 180 degrees. This might not work for everyone. I kindly recommend that you experiment your oven so you know which degree or temperature will work best for you. Okay, and I bake for 35 to 40 minutes, and as you can see, the baking is over and we have this nice bread ready to be enjoyed. I'll go ahead, smear some butter on the bread to make it softer, and then I will cut for us to see. Now to the moment of truth. We have this nice, soft, moist bread, ready to be enjoyed with any meal or any snack that you can think of. It's very great. I really enjoyed this. But as always, you can only testify if this works if you should do same. So I have a recipe caption. Please check it out. Go and do same. Come back and testify if you achieve this or not. I believe you will give this a try. Thanks so much for supporting our channel. Give this video a like if you enjoyed and subscribe to our channel if you've not to enjoy more of these videos. Thank you.